Good Monday morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is, yes, Monday the 22nd of July. We'll start with CrowdStrike today. They were really name of the game Friday after they released faulty software update that made millions of computers, computer systems around the world across airlines, airports, hospitals, ordinary businesses and so on, crashing. The computer system crashing. So what happened? Well, the CrowdStrike Friday opened a significant lower, about 20% lower gap, a massive gap down, but then bounced throughout the session a little bit, and then was a little bit weaker at the end of the session, but only closed down around 11%, but it was just above the 200 moving average. I don't have any pre-market prices just yet, but I think we could see possibly it will crawl higher here in the next couple of days. What was interesting, there was already a selling pressure taking place in the couple of days ahead of that, or previous couple of days. It was already turning around, but let's see here. I think next couple of days we'll see a little bit of bounce. We are in negative sentiment though, and there could be more bad stories coming out. Let's see if there are any claims against them in the billion-dollar scale. All right, we are moving on to S&P 500 that took out 55.76 support. Next one is 54.47. Could be tested here within a couple of days. However, market is indicated a little bit up. There's not much really moving the market despite the Biden news. We have the Nasdaq 100 that also took another beating Friday, so it lost quite a bit over the past week or so. Support 19,347, 19,210. So that could be tested here. What will be interesting, will we actually see RSI below 40. EUROSTOXX 50, that was very close to it. Actually did test, let's see, I think it actually did test the previous, oops, that was the wrong one. Let's just get the right one here. Sorry about that. We need a horizontal one, not a vertical one. So just about 48.19. We have some support in this area. We can see this gap area. And we are bouncing this morning. 48.88 could be tested, but we are actually in a downtrend, confirmed downtrend. And I think selling pressure will return. DAX this morning, massive. I think there's an error in the data coming in because we were not trading at 17,750. Let's look at the CFD slash the future. Let's get rid of this one. Trying to get back above the rising trend line. You can see how it bounced off the cloud. This is the cloud dissociated area. Actually, there's a support, especially when we have a flat one. But otherwise, 17,948 is key support. But it actually bounced from this. So let's see if it can actually get back above 18,500. The Amsterdam index, AEX, bouncing also a little bit today. If it can get back above 919, well, maybe we can see resuming of the uptrend. CAC 40, still caught in this range we talked about as 7,464, 7,750. We have the Swiss market. Actually did close below this support. It's not the strong support. I would actually say if it can close this gap here, then it is key. It's 12,151, a close below that, then I expect further selling down to 11,955. But we are bouncing this morning, and we are still in an uptrend. There is divergence, but we are still in an uptrend, so keep an eye on that level, 12,151. On to FX and euro dollar. That got rejected at 109.50. A little bit of a setback. We are still in a bullish trend. I think it will pick up pace again towards the 109.50 and 110 here in coming days. Bullish sentiment or positive sentiment, I think we will push higher. There is risk down to 108.50, 108.40 retracement level, but look at these moving averages. They are all pointing higher. So underlying sentiment and trend is up. We have the euro sterling that bounced 38.2 retracement of this sell-off here at just around 84.30. Just around that, got rejected, and I think we will see a downtrend resuming However, we do have a divergence on the RSI. You can see the sell-off here has been in an exhaustive mode. We could push higher. If it takes out the peak today, which means if it takes out 84.35, I think we'll see a push up to 84.55, which is 61.8 retracement. But the overall medium-term trend is down. Cable support just around 129, just below that. We also have the 38.2, which is the 128.80. We could see a dip down to that, but there's a positive sentiment. I think we'll see a cable pushing higher. Yen pairs, on the other hand, they are under pressure again. They couldn't really bounce strongly here, dollar yen. But it needs to get above 158.85 to establish an uptrend or resuming an uptrend. We are in a negative sentiment. We are in a downtrend, but the 786 retracement did hold. I mean, we dipped down below, but we did close above. We also closed above the cloud. But if it takes out the low from the 18th of July, which is 155.35, let's say that, then I think we'll see a push down to around 154.5, 153.60. Euro yen trying once again this morning to spike below support and 61.8 retracement. For now, it hasn't closed below, but if it takes out the lows there also from the 18th at 169.98, I would say 169.95, just put it in some little bit of leeway here. Then I think we'll see it push down to 786 retracement, 169.20, and the lower rising trend line, but it could sell off all the way down to around 167.5. Aussie yen, on the other hand, really selling off fast, has reached the 786 retracement, bouncing a little bit. We have negative sentiment. There could be further selling in the cards towards 103 support area here. However, if it starts moving back above 105.80, well, then we could see a push towards 107. Yeah, sterling yen, also downtrend. Spiked almost down to 61.8. I don't think it's over yet. I think we can see another round of selling, to be honest, where it will test the rising 55 moving average here, and there could be, but that could be the big test. If it takes out that, well, then there's risk down to around 200, 198, 199, I would say, around this level where we have a little bit stronger support. Aussie dollar, massive correction that has reached 61.8, retracement at 66.65. I think we will see a correction or a bounce here in the next couple of days. It's not unlikely we could spike a little bit lower, but the trend is up. It's just a bigger correction. I think we still have positive sentiment, no divergence on the RSI, indicating we're likely to see higher levels. Dollar Canada, 137.85, key resistance that could be tested. Euro Swiss, not really doing much the past few days. I think it will bounce, but again, look at this. We have the 55 coming down below the 100, but the 100 is rising, so it's not a real death cross. So it's still a little bit up in the air. We are also in a positive sentiment on the RSI. If it does close below 40, then expect further selling pressure. Dollar Swiss. Bounced off 88.25. Key support could bounce a little bit higher, but I think it will be caught range bound in this range around 89 the next couple of, week or so at least. Dollar index, we have, it's in a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. I think we will still see a push down to around the 103 level, 102.92, 102.70. Moving on to gold, that sold off heavily after reaching new all-time highs. Couldn't really get to 2,500. There's still potential out there, but we are in a correction phase where it could test the 23.87 support, dipping to the 61.8 retracement at 23.66. But I think we'll push higher in the coming weeks and months. And also looking at the weekly chart, we have this kind of a shooting star, and then not, but top and reversal pattern, but we are still in an uptrend, and so trust your trend. However, if it starts taking out 2350, then we are looking at 2300. But if we get back about 2450, well, then expect new all-time highs. On the silver, it has been very heavy, interestingly. Sold off, testing the falling trend line here, could dip down to 2850, 55 before I think it will resume uptrend, or bounce at least. Whether it will resume uptrend will be debatable, but I think it will bounce from around current level, maybe dipping down to 2850 before bouncing. Copper, on the other hand, really massive sell-off here, ending last week. Reached the 138.2 projection of this uptrend here, projection down to 418. There's still room down to around 413, 410, where we have the 200 moving average coming up. We have some support here around 413, and I think if we get down there, that will be it in this region here. Then we'll have a stronger bounce. But look at this, we have 55 moving average, we have the 21 pointing lower, and looking at the medium-term chart, well, that was a massive sell-off to get back this below 435, and really to establish an uptrend for now, it still needs to get back above 470. But we could still slowly build an uptrend here. But there is still some pressure on copper. WTI. The WTI is back again, testing the $80 level and the 38.2 retracement at 79.92, and the upper part of cloud. As you can see, we did it here, Friday, and what will happen here this morning, it's hard to say. However, positive sentiment. This seems to be just a correction phase, but we need to get the moving averages to start rising again, especially 55 needs to rise. And if we can get WTI back up around the 22.5, then I think it will also lift that, and then I will see a push towards the 84.50. Brent crude oil retraced 50%. It has been a little bit heavier than the WTI. Still in a positive sentiment, should slowly start ticking higher here in the next couple of days. And if let's just remove this one, I would add a line here, say, okay, if we take out the 85, 81, then uptrend has resumed. The US 10-year Treasury yields back above 417, could push towards 427, but then I think it's really over, and I think we will see a push lower again. However, keep an eye on if it starts taking out the 417, well, then we have a little bit of resistance here at 432, around 432. Could spike up to the 61.8 retracement at 435. But we are in a downtrend, and I think we'll see lower yields in the coming weeks. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and happy trading.